The country that has provided the largest support to Ukraine by far is the United States.
That's true.
Tens and tens of billions of dollars. There's a midterm election coming. In every vote so far, I think I'm right, the Republicans supporting Ukraine have declined. If the Republicans take the House of Representatives, which is the power of the purse, that's where the money comes from, do you worry that this American aid will slow down or stop? And what would be your message to the House Republicans?
First of all, I would like to immediately state that I'm grateful to President Biden and the White House and the bipartisan support, because, yeah, you're right, they're leaders in the size and volume of the support. Without this support, we will not be able to return our lands, and I recognize that myself, and I'm quite candid about this, and I recognize their leadership position on those matters. I know and hear the messages that you just brought up, that the representatives of the Republican Party, it might happen so, that they would be supporting Ukraine less. I want to believe that bipartisan support will remain strong and steadfast. For us, that's extremely important. You know how we react to this? Well, by fighting, and I'm ready to meet politicians, as I'm quite open to provide the opportunities to the wide world, make everything possible not to weaken the support to Ukraine, because otherwise Russia can win this fight, and that will be the tragedy of the 21st century. It's extremely important for me that if there are certain political trends, and if they send signals that there is some weakening of our support or supporting the Russian side, like through the visa regime, we will communicate this immediately, because we will help to defend the funds of the taxpayers, of the people of the United States. They need to know that those funds are being spent to fight for those values.
You know Donald Trump, and you've talked to him a lot. We, in fact, in previous interviews have talked about those famous phone calls. He's always said nice things about Vladimir Putin. He's even after the invasion of Ukraine, I think he said he was a genius. He says things. What do you think he doesn't understand about Putin? What would you tell Donald Trump to help him understand the Putin you see?
I believe he had enough time, plenty of time, to understand who Putin is. I think he was sitting at such a high position where it's not even possible not to recognize that he is the opponent in terms of values to your own people. And he has all the might of this country, intelligence, data, to create psychological profile, and thus you, in this position, need to understand who Putin is, what he's striving at, and what steps he will make to get there. So I was surprised that even after the beginning of the full-fledged invasion, Donald Trump mentioned things that you just said. I believe that he needs to look at this not only from the standpoint that this is a threat to Ukraine. Well, Ukraine, in his eyes, is too far away, but this war has no distances it could not cover. So I believe he needs to look at the situation without, as we say, pink glasses on. I don't know, probably he needed this to promote his domestic policy, to show that he's ready to find understanding with the president of Russia.
To the West, is your message, do not lift the sanctions until the complete deoccupation of Russia? Because as you know, lots of people by next year in the West will be talking about relaxation of sanctions, if not earlier.
No, we cannot lift any sanctions. We cannot agree with Russia now. We can not discuss the substance with Russia until they get out of our territory. Afterwards, yeah, we can start talking about the sanction policy, lifting certain sanctions. We can talk about reparations. We can talk about the monetary payments from them, diplomacy, dialogue. Yes, we can involve the presidents of all of the countries or any institutions and involve in those discussions anyone from the Russian side, but after they vacate our territory, because that's the new page of the history would start from there.
We don't know the losses on the Ukrainian military side. Ukrainian government doesn't release them, but it is tens of thousands. Can you go on? Can you fight if this goes on for years?
У нас немає виходу.
We have no other way.
І в цьому не слабкість наша.
And it's not our weakness, I believe it's our strength, because Russia does have a way out. They can go back home. We have only this home to defend. Where could we leave our home? Nowhere. That's why the question is not how much more victims, it's how much more victims we will have to win.
But you will keep fighting to the end.
Да.
Yes.